This is Ron Kelleher with the Inspired Leadership Podcast, episode number 534. Today's episode is entitled The Power of Purpose, Leadership Lessons from Joshua for Today's Leaders.
Hello, and welcome to Inspired Leadership, the podcast for Christian leaders in the marketplace who want to be the best leaders they can be. And now your host, Ron Kelleher.
As a leader in today's world, you face numerous challenges that require you to make difficult decisions and navigate through complex situations. From managing a diverse workforce to dealing with intense competition, it can be sometimes overwhelming. Turning to the Bible, Joshua's lessons provide a leadership blueprint that can help guide you through these challenges. By learning from his leadership style, you can become a more effective leader who inspires and motivates your team to achieve great things. So let's dive into the lessons from Joshua's story and see how they apply to your leadership journey. Lesson number 1, stay focused on your mission. In Joshua chapters 23 and 4, we learn that one of the most critical leadership lessons is to stay focused on your mission. The Israelites had a clear mission to follow God's commands and conquer the land he had promised them. Joshua reminded them of this mission, and as leaders, we must also remember our mission in the face of change. In today's fast-paced world, change is inevitable. As leaders, it's our responsibility to navigate these changes and lead our teams through them. First, however, we must not lose sight of our mission. It's easy to get distracted by new challenges and opportunities that arise during times of change. But if we lose focus, we risk losing our way. Staying focused on our mission allows us to guide our teams through the changes ahead and keep them on track towards our goals. It helps us maintain a clear sense of purpose and direction, even amid uncertainty. In addition, by staying true to our mission, we can inspire our teams to do the same and remain committed to achieving our objectives. In conclusion, the lesson of staying focused on our mission is crucial for leaders in navigating change successfully. By remembering our mission, communicating it clearly to our teams, and prioritizing our tasks accordingly, we can guide our teams through any changes that come our way and keep them on track towards achieving our goals. Lesson number 2, be courageous. In Joshua chapter 24, verses 14 and 15, Joshua challenges the Israelites to choose between serving God or serving other gods. He courageously stands up for his beliefs and encourages others to do the same. As leaders, we must also be courageous in the face of change. We must be willing to take risks and make difficult decisions, even unpopular ones. By showing courage, we can inspire our teams to do the same and stay strong during times of uncertainty. The lesson of being courageous is crucial for leaders, especially during times of change. Change often brings uncertainty and risk, and it's easy to become overwhelmed and afraid. However, facing these challenges with courage and determination is essential as a leader. Courage also requires vulnerability. As leaders, we may need to admit our mistakes and seek help from others or acknowledge our fears. By doing so, we demonstrate authenticity and build trust with our teams. When leaders are courageous and authentic, they create a culture of trust and resilience that helps their teams thrive despite adversity. In conclusion, the lesson of being courageous is essential for leaders during times of change. It requires us to take risks, make difficult decisions, and demonstrate vulnerability. By showing courage, we can inspire our teams to do the same and stay strong during times of uncertainty. Lesson number 3 is to lead by example. Throughout Joshua's story, we see that Joshua continued to serve God and lead the Israelites until his death. He led by example, showing his team what it meant to stay committed to the mission. As leaders, we must also lead by example. Our actions speak louder than words. If we want our teams to remain strong during times of change, we must model that strength ourselves. In today's fast-paced business world, leaders are expected to be role models for their teams. By leading by example, leaders can gain the trust and respect of their team members, which is essential for keeping them motivated during times of change. In addition, when leaders model the behavior they expect from their team members, it helps create a culture of accountability and ownership. Leading by example also means being authentic and transparent with your team. Admitting your mistakes, being open to feedback, and showing vulnerability can help build stronger relationships with your team members. In addition, when your team sees that you'll learn from your mistakes and are invested in their success, it can inspire them to do the same. As a leader, it's important to remember that you're always being watched. Your team members are looking to you for guidance, and they'll emulate your positive or negative behavior. By leading by example, you can set the tone for how your team should act and react during times of change. In addition, by demonstrating resilience, determination, and positivity, you can inspire your team to do the same, which is crucial for navigating through challenging times. Lesson number 4 is to celebrate your successes. In Joshua chapter 24, verses 15 to 28, the Israelites renewed their commitment to God and celebrated their victories. It's essential to celebrate our successes, especially during times of change. By doing so, we can boost morale and remind our teams of our progress. Celebrating success also helps us maintain momentum and stay motivated during challenging times. Celebrating successes is crucial not only for boosting morale, but also for creating a positive work culture. It helps to build a sense of camaraderie and shared achievement among team members. Leaders must acknowledge and celebrate small and big successes as they all contribute to the team's overall success. During times of change, celebrating success becomes even more critical as it helps to maintain focus on the mission and reinforces the team's commitment to achieving it. Leaders should take time to recognize and thank team members for their hard work and celebrate milestones along the way. By doing so, they can create a positive feedback loop that inspires continued success and progress. And finally, lesson number 5, be willing to adapt. In Joshua 6, Joshua acknowledges that serving God requires adaptation. In what was the most unusual military tactic ever devised, God told Joshua to assemble the people and march around Jericho every day for 7 days. On the 7th day, they were to march around the city 7 times and blow their trumpets and shout, at which point the walls of Jericho fell down. As leaders, we must also be willing to adapt to new situations and challenges. We must be open to new ideas and approaches and ready to pivot when necessary. Adaptability is essential for leaders in times of change. It's important to recognize that what worked in the past may not work in the future, and being flexible and adaptable can help us navigate new challenges and opportunities. By being willing to adapt, we can stay ahead of the curve and respond quickly to market changes, customer preferences, or other factors that impact our organizations. This requires a willingness to learn and grow to seek new information and perspectives, and be open to feedback and critique. Ultimately, adapting can be the key to long-term success and survival in a rapidly changing world. Well, in conclusion, these 5 lessons from Joshua remind today's leaders that leadership is not just about giving orders and enforcing rules, but also about being a good example and leading with integrity. Leaders must make difficult decisions and take responsibility for their actions while empowering and inspiring their team members to reach their full potential. By fostering a culture of trust, respect, and accountability, leaders can ensure that their organizations thrive and achieve their goals. Remember, as Joshua said to the Israelites, "Choose this day whom you will serve, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." As leaders, we must also choose whom we will serve and lead our teams with wisdom and courage. Well, that's it for this week, and as always, questions and comments are welcome. Which lesson from Joshua's leadership story do you find most challenging to employ in your career? I'd love it if you'd come over to the website at ronkelleher.com/episode 534 and leave me a question or a comment. And as always, before we go, I'd love to ask you to do me a quick favor, and that is to jump on over to your podcast service, wherever you're listening to this. Leave a ranking for the show and a comment if you wish. It really does help us get the show into the hands of more and more people. So I thank you in advance for that and pray that God would help us all to be the powerful and the inspired leaders He intends us to be. That's it for this episode of Inspired Leadership. You'll find a complete transcript of this episode on my website at www.ronkelleher.com. My prayer now is that you'll go out and be the powerful, inspired leader that God intends us to be.
Thanks for listening to the Inspired Leadership Podcast at www.ronkelleher.com.